Hi, this is Brian from Brain District. Today I'm going to be showing how to take and use reference images within RaySupreme. First, I'm starting out in an image editing program. You can see that I have a sports car shown in front of me, and the different views of the sports car are all shown in the same image. Now I'm going to be doing a little bit of prep work for those images, and I'm going to be breaking them down into individual images. If you'll note, in this file, I have the image of the car placed on a square canvas, and I'll get into the details about that later. As you can see, though, I have the front view, the back view, the side, and the top view all shown within that square space. And what I've also done, if you compare with my other image, is that I've rotated the top view of the car in order to have it be orientated properly when we're inside RaySupreme. So we'll see the views match up because I've made this slight adjustment, and we'll see that directly in the program. I've saved these individual images out as PNG files, and we're going to use those PNG files inside RaySupreme. So now that we've set things up here, we'll make a quick jump to RaySupreme. We'll find the settings we need for the reference images in the snap settings. The snap settings are accessible by clicking on the snap button in the browser menu. We're going to be focusing on these different views shown here for the front, back reference, the top and bottom reference, and the left and right reference. These will be shown in the viewports, and as I had stated earlier, will give us accuracy in our modeling. I'm going to take and expand the heading for the front and back reference. If I click on the select button as shown, I can choose my front view and click open, and I'll see it placed within the viewport. I can now go on to the next for my top reference, and I'll choose my top view. Next, I'll go to the left and right reference, and here I'll place my side view. Now we have all of our necessary viewport references in place. Now, one thing that is interesting to note is that when I'm ready to work with the back view, I can take and simply switch out the front view for the back view as shown. Now I'll be showing you the next stage in the process, and in this case I'll be placing a cube, and we'll begin to start to model our object. If I take and choose the Objects button from the browser menu, I can take and create a cube by double-clicking on its heading. With my object created, you'll notice that a cube sits right on the axis rather than being centered on the origin of the scene. So what I'll do is I'll take and click on the Tools button in the browser menu, and I'll choose Center Object. That centers the cube so that I don't have to line anything up, and because I previously placed my car images in the center of that canvas space, you can see that they coincide with the cube being centered on the origin. Now I'll simply take and select the Scale tool, and I can take and non-uniform scale my cube by clicking on the individual axes of the scale gizmo, and I can get the correct proportions for my car. The last move will be to scale it down on the z-axis. This gives me a rough starting shape for the car. If I want to take and zoom in and see further details, I can hold down the Option key on the Mac or the Alt key on the PC while right dragging with the mouse in the viewport. Once I'm ready to really get into the details of the polygon modeling, I simply can go to the left side of the screen and click on the Make Editable button in order to take and make my object available for more operations in terms of polygon modeling, which you can now see available here. So far in this tutorial, I've shown you what I consider to be the best practices of working with viewport references, but there's also some additional features under the snap settings that I can show you. If I scroll down to the left and right reference view, we can look at some of these features. If I adjust the scale slider, this will take and make the scale of one particular viewport reference larger or smaller, depending if we move the slider to the left or the right. And I can also key in values for precision's sake. We also have aspect ratio. Here I can take and adjust the horizontal stretch of an image, and this helps when my reference image is distorted either horizontally or vertically. I can use this aspect ratio to take and make it correct. Here I've zoomed back out to show you the offset sliders. If I adjust the offset horizontally, a negative value moves the image left, a positive value moves the image right. With the vertical offset slider, I can also move the image upward with a positive value or downward with a negative value. We also have a transparency slider, which allows us to take and make the image more dominant in the viewport. If I move the slider to the left, it'll make the image more faint. This allows us to help see our geometry in the viewports. This concludes our tutorial. We hope you've enjoyed learning about viewport references and RaySupreme.